panel discussion is on education improvement and social justice in your programs, the why and how. We're going to talk about a few different aspects of social justice and how you can incorporate them into your programs, because we are working with youth, and how do we adjust for that? And how do we help them to grow into leaders that are working on social justice issues? So some of the people on the panel are from programs, and they're going to tell you about how they're incorporating these social justice issues into their Tutor Mentor Baby programs. We also have some people on the panel who are from social justice organizations, and they're going to talk about what they're doing to improve things and give you some ideas of how to maybe incorporate some of those things, or a base for you to learn more about those issues so that you can incorporate them in your programs. So next to me here is Bensett. He's the project director at Life Directions. On my right is Patrick Smith. He's from Future Founders. And next to him is Olivia Perlow. She's from the Prison Industrial Complex Teaching Collective. And next to her is Xavier Salvado from Gads Hill Center. And last but certainly not least, down at the end, is Marcia Rothenberg from the Illinois Single Payer Coalition. So I'm going to start right at my right and work our way down, and then we'll jump back over this one.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Patrick Smith. I'm the program director for the Future Founders program. Future Founders is a youth entrepreneurship program where we expose motivated high school students living in underserved areas to careers in entrepreneurship. So what that means is that we help the students that we work with build, present, and launch a business plan through the counseling and mentoring of successful entrepreneurs and business executives in Chicago. So, in other words, these students are learning all about the benefits of becoming an entrepreneur and just really, kind of immersing themselves into just really starting their own business. So just very quickly how the program kind of works is that, well, first off, we partner with 7 high schools that are all on the south side of Chicago. So they range from, Racine and Roosevelt all the way down to 111th Street. So Future Founders has been around since 2005. It was originally part of an organization called the Chicagoland Entrepreneurial Center, which is a 501c3 non-profit that provides advisory services for entrepreneurs in Chicago. And as of November 2011, the program officially spun out of the Chicagoland Entrepreneurial Center, or CEC for short, to create a broad non-for-profit organization called the Future Founders Foundation. So the Future Founders Foundation runs 2 programs. The first program is the Future Founders program, which is heavily based on entrepreneurship. It does everything that I had just talked about. And then the second program is called Connect to the Future program, which was actually founded by Groupon and Light Bank co-founder Brad Keywell. And that's kind of more of a general career exploration program for underserved students. So Future Founders is entrepreneurship, whereas Connect to the Future is all sorts of careers. So if you're a lawyer, if you're a journalist, or if you're a doctor, you come to the schools and you speak to the students about what it's like to be a professional in those industries. I'll get into more detail much later, but I'd like some of the other panelists to introduce themselves as well.
Greetings, thanks for having me. I'm part of the PIC Teaching Collective. I'm also assistant professor at Northeastern Illinois University, where I teach sociology and African American studies and women's studies classes. So the PIC Teaching Collective is an arm of Project NIA, which is an advocacy, organizing, popular education, and research center with the purpose of facilitating the creation of restorative and transformative community-based responses to youth violence and crime as lasting alternatives to criminal justice response, with the ultimate goal being the eradication of youth incarceration. With these goals in mind, the PIC Teaching Collective, in collaboration with numerous groups and organizations, has developed tools to empower diverse community members to take leadership roles in addressing issues faced by youth impacted by the criminal justice system. So as part of the PIC Teaching Collective, we do things like facilitate workshops, popular education workshops, centering around the prison industrial complex. We have a wide range of educational materials that are available to you free on the website, and we've partnered with numerous organizations to do different things. Like we have Chain Reaction, we have the Missing Project. There are a wide range of youth. Just check out the websites. I have some materials if you want to look at them a little bit later. Should I go into?
Just introduce your organization.
Okay. I can read.
Hi, good morning. My name is Xavier Salvado. I'm the Director of Youth Services at the Gads Center. As I mentioned before, Gads is an organization that serves the southwest side of Chicago. It's North Londale, Pilsen, Little Village, Brighton Park, back of the yards. Gads has been around for 114 years, so it's been a long time. Roughly one of the oldest nonprofits in Chicago. Gads used to be a settlement house back in the day, the Jane Addams, the whole house movement. But right now, in 2012, we're basically a community-based organization that provides educational support services to the children, youth, and families that we serve. Our goal is to develop their assets, and we do that through different programs, but especially, and we will talk more later about it, we have big, strong mentoring component. So we have 2 programs for middle and high school students, and specifically the high school program has a strong social justice component. We actually use our own social justice curriculum. We can talk about that later.
My name is Marcia Rothenberg. I retired from Cook County Hospital. I retired, I'm an RN. I retired from Cook County Hospital after 18 years there, and I also went to work for the, she can't hear. What am I doing wrong?
No, it's on. Just hold it closer to you. Like, turn it.
This?
Yeah. Turn it towards
Can everybody hear now? Yeah. Okay, I can probably talk as loud as I can do on this. And I worked at Cook County Hospital for 18 years as a registered nurse, public hospital, and I also worked for Access Living for 6 years, which deals with disability rights. Now I'm working. Now I'm involved in the Illinois Single Payer Coalition. Now I guess I'm not supposed to go into what single payer is now, but I have found to my chagrin that probably nobody around in this audience knows what single payer is. So it's been cut out of the debate about a healthcare structure in this country. You don't see it in Congress, you don't see it in the newspapers. So we're working to put a single-payer healthcare system into operation. We are supporting legislation in the state of Illinois, and also we're supporting legislation in the Congress. And I just will read to you, I guess, a short thing about who we are. Healthcare is a human right. We can have a healthcare system that covers everyone. A system that's publicly financed and privately delivered. A not-for-profit system, very important. It saves money, lets you choose your own providers, and provides comprehensive health care, including preventive, mental health, dental, vision care, doctors, nurse practitioners, midwives, hospitals, and medications. The Illinois Single Payer Coalition is working to enact a single payer system. Improved Medicaid for all. In Illinois, the bill is HB 311. In Congress, the bill is HR 676. And I'm not going to say it because it's long. You have to see this. I have these. We can make it happen. Help. That's who we are, that's what we're trying to do. We also have a community group which is called Chicago Community Outreach, and I am in that also working with the Mental Health Coalition now to try to save or get back the 6 out of 12 mental health clinics in Black and Hispanic neighborhoods have been cut by Chicago, and we have the youth that are very active.
Okay, we have one more panelist join us, and it is Sarah Karp, and she's from Catalyst newspaper, which is a newspaper, well, she's going to tell you a little bit more about it.
Sure, so I'm sorry I was late. I was trying to find a place to park, which I forgot that it was hard, even though the students are at school at University of Chicago, so I thought it would be easier. But I'm from Catalyst, Chicago, and I have a few issues out here. We are a small independent publication that was founded because back in the early 1990s when they first had local school councils. And our publisher, Linda Lenz, and a bunch of foundations came together and decided that there needed to be some way for local school council members to have an informed idea of what's happening in their schools. So at the time, the fear was that all the information about the schools that would be going to the local school council members would be coming from the principals or from the central office. And Linda Lenz and the foundations were interested in getting them just some solid information that's objective, that doesn't have a whole lot of, well, this is what the principal wants or this is what the board wants. Over time, we've become a little more policy oriented, and at this point, we serve, I think, our biggest audience as teachers. So especially now with a lot of the action going on with the union, we're very, we try and sort of be a voice of objectivity in the midst of what's right now a real big political storm about, every side has their own point of view with the teachers and their contract and the district and what their opinion is. We do a lot of coverage on things like school closings, charter schools. Our idea is that we will go into the schools, we report what we see. We also use a lot of data analysis, and we try to be objective. So I like it when both sides, both the districts, Chicago Public Schools, spokesperson will call me and tell me, well, why are you printing the lies of the union? And then the union will call me and say, why are you printing the lies of the district? And I'm like, well, that's my job, to print everybody's lies, right? But, and then also just sort of see, okay, can we put it in context, what people are saying? So, can we look to outside sources? Can we look to experts? Can we look to actual research on education? And try and insert that into some of the rhetoric that's going on? Because one thing that's true in education is that there's a lot of research, and that really a lot of people kind of know what works. And a lot of what works has nothing to do with a lot of the buzzwords or the hot education reform issues. For example, charter schools. There's this big debate. Should we have charter schools? Should we not have charter schools? Well, the truth is that most research has shown it doesn't matter if it's a charter school or not. What matters is what's happening in the classroom. What matters is things like class size, the quality of the teacher, the quality of the principal, the quality of the school's relationship with the community. So we try and just reiterate those points of view, those points as much as we can, so that, in the midst of all this back and forth, people don't lose, sort of lose their touch with what is really education is supposed to do, which is, educate children. And, ultimately that's what we push for, is to try and get Chicago Public Schools to be, as Arnie Duncan used to say all the time, a world-class system. Okay, and right here.
Hello, my name is Bensett, and I work with Life Directions. We're located on the west side of Chicago, and we work in schools on the west and south sides. We were founded in 1973 in Detroit, and I just came back from Detroit last week, and I'm really interested in having somebody talk about health here, because when I went to Detroit, they're talking about closing the public health system. The whole department in the whole city of Detroit is not going to have a Department of Public Health by the end of the year. So it's not only mental health that they're closing, it's the whole thing. And there definitely is a war on the poor in this country. And Life Directions was founded in 1973, and that was the year that young adult violence really hit the city of Detroit. And it was founded as a response to that. So we've always been an organization that centers our social justice work on high school dropout, keeping people in high schools, and violence prevention. And we do that through 3 programs. The Peer Motivation Program, which works in the high schools with peers inspiring peers to make better choices in their lives. After they go through that, we recruit them to be peer mentors, who reach out to 8th graders at the same time that so that they make it to high school. and they also receive adult mentors so that they make it to college. And this year we started something very new. It's called Sparks. And so what we do with our students and adults now is we talk to them about what they're really interested in. What do they like to do? What do they do that nobody has to ask them to do because they love to do it? And they put those things, check mark, and we use it in two ways. And one way is to find people that have the same interest as them to connect them with, especially the adult mentors with the peer mentors. And then we also use it to create community service projects and involve the students in the community service projects as they're interested in it. And through that, we've started community gardens. We're involved in about 5 or 6 community gardens on the west and south side. And I've been involved in social justice work for about 20 years. And the funniest thing is, our next project that we're doing on June 26th is going to be over at Marshall High School. And Marshall High School has an urban farm. They have 2 acres over there, and they've developed this for the past 20 years. There's an amazing teacher over there named Carol Williams. And they also raise animals. So they have the animals in the horticultural lab in the school, and they've told them that they have to get the chickens out of the lab. Now the chickens are going to go out into the farm, but when they redid Marshall, they didn't build like a big enough fence around the urban farm so people can get in there. The last time that they put the chickens out there, somebody stole the chickens. So they need a bigger fence around the farm. So now I'm a social justice advocate for chickens on the west side of Chicago. So, and when you work with Sparks, and you sort of work from the bottom up, and you work with where you see things, where people are doing something really positive with what they're positive about, it takes you in different directions than than picking different issues. The other thing that we're doing is we're starting a Partners for Peacemakers campaign. We do peace pledges with the students and adults, and I can tell you more about life directions and these different things at our table if you have questions.